now.
Dances want in now.
Because you know what today is.
We back. The
Guys,
Bice are back.
So we're doing something cool today. We're doing something a little slightly different.
Thanks for tuning in.
Also, thanks for tuning in. So we're going to do a Bice Music Life Review.
Yes, sir.
That's what I'm going to call it. The Bice Music Life Review.
Bice Music Life. Let's go.
So if you watched before, we've definitely just talked about it in a little pieces of the podcast, but we're trying to differentiate it. We want to keep the podcast strictly conversational based, and we want to have a separate, podcast or just a review, Bice Music Life Review for the music.
More life, more music, Bice.
Right, so we're trying to just space it out, keep everything, in its own lane, right? So that's what we're trying to do here.
Hell yeah. You know where to go for music.
So yeah, so instead of just sifting through the pod, you can get the music right to you. So that's what we're going to do today. How you feeling about it, Ty?
I feel phenomenal.
Feeling good?
I'm
Let's put a C on that. Let's put a C on.
I mean,
everyone's
first of all,
good right now.
all I gotta say is we don't give them enough credit, but thank you to the live crowd. So good at clapping.
We got to give them more credit.
Yeah, more credit.
More cowbell.
Thank you guys. You guys come day in, day out.
Thank you guys.
Never stop clapping. I don't know how your hands can handle it, but it's amazing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's amazing.
Yes, sir. All right.
And shout out to the live band. We don't give them enough credit.
Shout out
either.
to the live band. They kill it every time. Intro, outro. The music is fantastic.
Yeah.
Speaking of music.
Unmatched. Speaking of music, what do we got?
So today in the Bice Music Life Review, we're going to be just talking about every single album that I missed that I haven't talked about so far.
It's a lot.
Right, because there's been a lot of music that's come out this year.
Shout out music.
I'll try to brush up on everything that I've missed. So I'll get to everything I missed as well as brush up on the things that maybe I talked about that it's been a while. So
Yeah,
we're just going to get into
go.
it.
Let's rock.
In no particular order, I'm just going to talk about some certain albums that came out that I listened to, I really enjoyed. Do you know who Paris, Texas is? We're going to start off with a crazy one.
Paris, Texas. I've heard the name.
You've heard the name. So
Doesn't ring a music bell.
No, it's okay because Paris, Texas isn't really a big guy on the scene. So if you're new, we're mainly big hip-hop genre fans and, whatever that encapsulates because obviously there's a ton of subgenres. But that's mainly like the lane we were in.
What does Paris, Texas do?
He's kind of like emo, rap, grunge, rock. Like he does a big mix. I found him through.
You can't put him in a box.
You can't put him in a box.
He's his own guy.
You can't put him in a box. That's the problem.
Love that.
He's kind of genreless, but he's in that emo, rap, rock scene.
Okay.
And
love it.
I found him through Kenny Mason. You know Kenny Mason.
Shout out Kenny Mason. Put a C on that. Come on the pod.
Kenny Mason was actually on Paris, Texas album Midair, which came out a few months ago. So we're talking about 2023 albums. I actually enjoyed this album a lot. If you're a big emo rap rock fan.
Oh, it's a hip hop duo?
Paris, Texas?
Yeah.
I thought it was just one guy.
That's what it says right here.
Is it really?
Look it up, Larry.
That
says hip hop duo.
That's good to know. But he's got that song with Kenny Mason right there. Is it D&D? Or is it a different one? Hold on. Let me find out.
Yeah, that's fine.
It is D&D with Kenny Mason.
D&D. That's the first song up there.
That is how I found out about this album and about Paris, Texas. And
all right, I'm gonna have to tune in.
Do we have the dongle?
The dongle.
The dongle might be out, but that's fine.
In terms of not trying to be copywritten, dongle's out.
Sure.
Shout out Paris, Texas. We give him a listen. Go subscribe to his YouTube if he has one. Then come on back to the video.
I would recommend listening to that. I don't think you've listened to it, Ty, so we're probably not much to say about it. But I think, if you're a fan of it, you'll like it.
If it has Kenny Mason on the track, there's a good chance that it's
a hit.
It's a hit.
100%. Kenny Mason.
Just knowing Kenny Mason,
is one of my favorite guys right now that doesn't miss and
never misses.
And he's been on a great feature run lately, especially on this album. So I just wanted to talk about that. All right, next we got. Again, there's no particular order. We got Quavo's Rocket Power. Quavo's Rocket Power came out.
Talk about a great name.
Yeah.
For an album.
Obviously Rocket Power. it was a big tribute because for the loss of Takeoff, of course.
Yeah, that's
which is tough.
definitely not what we want to hear.
For sure.
But
I love that.
Rest in peace.
I love that they did that. You know.
Yeah,
like Quavo and Offset.
It's a tribute to
Takeoff. Of course. So even
like the third Migo I take.
like the third Migo I take. So Offset dropped his album also, Set It Off. So Quavo's album Rocket Power. I've only listened to it once, so I should listen to it more and be able to give a better just review on it.
Yep.
But you know, it's Migos. It's Quavo. It's decent. It's pretty long. It's almost 22 songs. Then
it's a big album.
It's a big album. However, I did not listen to Offset's Set It Off yet. 21 songs.
Okay.
So I can't speak on that as well.
They are pumping out music.
Yeah, especially now that they're in their solo careers.
Yeah.
It seems like, you know, Migos are probably not going to be the same anymore. So
yeah,
sad to hear.
I mean, yeah, exactly. Sad to hear, but
all
it's
good
never
things come to an end, right?
Right. It's never going to be the same, obviously, but both Quavo and Offset still doing their things.
Yeah, they're just living their life.
I mean, very talented artists, in my opinion.
For sure.
IMO.
Yeah, I mean, give them a listen, of course. I mean, whether you like it or not, I bet the music is very good. And yeah, that's all I can say about that. It's a tragedy what's going on there, but I'm happy to see them still keeping the flame going.
Hell yeah.
Another new artist on the scene. Do you know who Tizo Touchdown is?
Tizo Touchdown.
You've definitely heard of Tizo Touchdown before.
Maybe I've heard a song. I don't know about the name. Let's find out. Tizo.
T-E-E.
Touchdown.
Z-O. So Tizo Touchdown, new guy on the scene. This is his first album called How Do You Sleep at Night? And I've heard of Tizo Touchdown through, you know, collaborations he's done with Travis Scott and Westside Boogie. And
shout out Westside Boogie.
Westside Boogie kind of put me on. Shout out Westside Boogie, absolute G. We'll put a C on that for him. Westside Boogie needs more love.
Tizo Touchdown, he has a great, in my opinion, hairstyle.
It's all the spikes, right?
Yeah, all these spikes. I don't know what they are. Needles, nails.
That's the thing. I don't know, but I do like the aesthetic because he's also that emo rap rock. Bless you.
Thank you.
Emo rap rock guy. So it's a little different.
No, it's different. It's very different. It's really it's attractive to the eyes, you know what I mean? Drawing my attention.
Well, first things first is like, yes, it draws your attention whether you like his music or not, or know who he is and like him for him.
You see him and you're intrigued.
You see him, you're like, oh yeah, there's something to this kid. He's got something.
Something's going on here.
And I mean, what's so crazy is he was collabing with, you know, big artists like Travis Scott and Westside Boogie before he even dropped his album. So
this headline right now says,
you know,
Tizo Touchdown, favorite of Drake, is ready for the spotlight. So Drake's on the Tizo Touchdown board, so I mean, I'm going to have to give him a listen now.
Well, speaking of Drake, so to touch on Tizo Touchdown's album real quick, it was decent. You know, I should probably listen to it again, but I think that there's definitely a lot more to see from him. You know, I've seen him in features where I thought he was decent, and then his whole album, I don't know, I feel like it could have been a little better, but you know, pretty solid for the most part. And
how old is this man?
I think he's young. I think there's a lot to see from him to grow and mature. So
plenty of room for growth. Let's see.
So I'm not too worried, not nervous. And
he's 30 years old.
Is he 30?
But
still young.
That's very young for an artist.
Especially like just now, kind of coming on the scene.
Right. So he's coming on the scene. He's about to hit his prime.
Yep.
He's about to take off. He's about to score. Hit pay dirt with a Tizo Touchdown.
Pay dirt, baby.
Shout out. Come on the pod, by the way, Tizo.
Oh, we love that.
Hell yeah.
But what's cool is, like, you don't have to be, like, young to, like, go on any, like, scene or to make it big on any scene. Like, we've seen it a lot in not only just music.
It's probably better to not be young because you have experience. You're not going to, blow your opportunity or anything.
Yeah, being famous when you're young is probably such a weird fucking thing to be in. So like,
and difficult,
but it's like as we've seen in a lot of sports, like UFC, there are guys in their 40s winning belts. You know, Tom Brady was winning championships in his 40s. Like, there are artists in their 30s and 40s and still making great music. That's
athletes, which is crazy. Like, you depend on the old body still winning.
Which is like arguably harder than your voice, I would assume. I don't know how
Yeah.
much the vocal strain goes
That's
on
true.
to it.
I don't know as much, but you have to
Yeah.
imagine with rapping, it might be easier to preserve your voice than if you're
Yeah.
like a singer belting out chords and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on how much you tour and how much you perform, right? Because like Miley Cyrus, remember, was talking about how her voice has changed so much because you know it's really like a muscle, and she was
gone through
flexing it
the
so
ringer.
much, gone through the ringer.
Yeah.
That's why she got like that rasp. So I guess it kind of helped her voice in a sense. You know what I mean? So
It's true.
It-
You never know how
Pros and cons, pros and cons.
pros and cons, and the thing is, the creativity is never gonna end.
yeah, exactly.
So if you're an artist like 30, very young.
Yeah, exactly.
young.
100%. So yeah, everyone keep an eye out for Tizo Touchdown. Again, you know, decent album. I'd like to see if he can do something a little more. Give me a little more.
Yeah, we're looking forward to things to come.
Oh yeah, we're looking forward to things to come. We're gonna switch a little bit into like the country folk emo scene with Zach Bryan. Zach Bryan dropped one EP and one album. He dropped the
Shout
most
out
recent.
Zach Bryan.
Shout out Zach Bryan. Come on the pod.
Yes, sir. Put a C on that. Put a C on that.
Zach Bryan coming to Gillette next summer. I'm going. I'll see you there.
You already have
ZB.
tickets? Or you plan to get tickets?
They go on sale Friday, so I'm gonna try to.
Oh wow!
I'm gonna try to get some tickets.
Good.
So
man. You think they're gonna sell out like snap of the finger?
He
or
originally
what?
had one for June that I missed the sale on. I couldn't get tickets because it fucking blew up. Then he added another one for July of next summer.
Ooh.
So now hopefully this one's my shot.
Get a
We'll
hop
see.
on.
We'll see. We'll get a hop on.
What time do they drop on Friday?
I think it starts at like midnight. So
Midnight Thursday or midnight Friday?
Midnight Thursday.
All right.
So tomorrow midnight.
Tomorrow midnight, you have a shot.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
We'll look it up.
Yeah. But Zach Bryan dropped EP, the most recent one, his EP called Boys of Faith. Really good. It's got, you know who Noah Khan is? Stick Season.
Yeah.
He's been a hot
Heard
guy on the
name
scene.
for sure.
Noah Khan's a hot guy on the scene, so he's got a song with Noah Khan. Everyone loves Noah Khan, ZB. They're huge. So I thought it was good. Then he's got a song with Bon Iver, another classical duo. Bon Iver and ZB, I think, fucking smack together. Really great stuff.
Hell yeah. ZB smacks with a lot.
Yeah. The reason why I love ZB so much is because...
He's like down to the roots country.
Yeah. I mean, I personally don't consider it country. I don't know. It's in its own lane. It's hard to explain. You just gotta listen to it. But the way I see ZB is that he's just a guy with a guitar and a great voice and just like makes it work.
He just makes it work.
He doesn't need all the ultra, production and other things that like can enhance your sound. He just doesn't need it. I mean, he still does it on songs. Trust me, like he'll make it work because he's got bands with him. He's got drummers, guitarists, everything.
Yeah.
Like he can do it, but he doesn't. Like there are a lot of songs where it's just him and the guitar, and like sometimes he records it on his iPhone,
and he rips it.
Which we can go to his most recent full album self-titled called Zach Bryan, where he has songs on there called Smaller Acts. That was the one where it's literally just recorded on an iPhone, and it's just him. And there's a bird.
Love that.
There's a bird creaking in the, like, whatever, screeching in the background,
chirping,
and like it just like fits the style that he's going for. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I love that. So he
can do it all. He's a guy that does it all.
Yeah, he can do it all. He doesn't care about what other people think. You can tell.
Yep.
He's doing it for him.
Yep.
He's creating art for him.
For sure.
And it's paying off. He's not. I don't think he set out to I want to be famous. He just was making art and became so.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. He was in the military before making music. Then he
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for the service.
To all you military men and women out there, thank you.
Thank you for your service, everyone. And yeah, he doesn't seem like a very pretentious person. He seems pretty down to earth. That's what I like about ZB. Yeah, I've really enjoyed those two albums. I've always liked what he's done. I'm excited to see what more he has coming.
Excited to see him at Gillette in
July if I'm lucky. And but yeah, definitely give Boys of Faith and Zach Bryan those two albums a listen. I don't think even if you're not in that folk country genre fan, like I still think he stands out a ton. So I'd give it a listen.
Hell yeah.
Next,
You won't be disappointed.
Definitely won't be. Next, I haven't listened to this album. Do you know who Oliver Tree is?
Oliver Tree, you have said the name many times. Yes.
I've listened to all of his albums. I haven't listened to this one yet, so I can't speak on it. But I do like Oliver Tree. Just want to talk that he dropped an album called "Alone in a Crowd."
Oh yeah, I know Oliver Tree.
I've definitely played. He's got good music.
He does.
He's a meme. He's a meme.
He's a meme. Lie. He's got the mullet with the bowl cut, all that.
Yeah.
Coconut head vibes, but
it's for the cloud.
He has good music. He is a talented artist.
It's for the cloud. It's definitely for the cloud, but he is, like you said, he's a talented artist. He has good songs.
Is it for the cloud or is it just him?
Who knows? But either way, it works for both ways. You know what I mean? But
exactly.
Either way, definitely, he's not the best artist, but there are songs that draw me to him. There are songs that he makes where I'm like kind of surprised that he made it. I'm like, wow, this is actually like really good. Like I did not expect this from him. So I haven't listened to this album yet, but I'm hoping he continues to do that same thing to me where it's, wow, I'm kind of shocked by this. I expected something a little different.
Right. He's under promising, over delivering.
I guess we can call it that for sure.
Shout out Matty Merck.
Shout out Matty Merck. We can call it that for sure. Here's one that everyone's definitely listened to. Drake, For All the Dogs.
All the dogs.
For All the Dogs. And funny you say that because he does that, not himself, but throughout the entire album, you'll hear, it's like a story going on where it's like, you'll hear Snoop Dogg and other artists like talking like they're on a radio show and being like, well, you're listening to BARK radio, and it's so like bark dogs. You know what I mean? There's this big, I don't know,
the
cinematic narrative or theme narrative that it's about dogs. Like you'll hear the barking noises. Oh, it's BARK radio. He has that theme concurrently going out through the album, which is pretty interesting to me. And don't get me wrong,
you think there's deeper meaning for that?
There could be. I don't know. I would need to listen more because I've only listened to this like twice, so I need to listen a little more to kind of pick up on those narratives. But I've only listened to it a couple times, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not super impressed with it. I enjoy it. I think it's a decent enough album from Drake, but I'm just not super impressed with it. And usually Drake kind of like impresses me. And this one, the best song on here is his one with J. Cole called First Person Shooter. I think the first like 10 songs really kind of hit hard, and then it kind of cools off a little bit throughout like the rest of the album. The rest of the album, there's some, heavy hitters, but a lot of it was kind of seemed a little filler. 23 tracks. I don't know. I feel like you probably...
It's a lot of tracks.
Yeah, you probably could have taken out, another, I don't know, 8 of these that didn't really hit for me. I mean, again, it's just in my opinion, so it's not going to fit everyone.
And full disclosure, you haven't listened to it enough to have,
I've only listened
to best grasp of it.
A majority of these albums I've only listened to at least like once or twice.
What I find
isn't enough to like fully grasp it.
Yeah, what I find with me is music often grows on me. Albums grow,
For sure.
Over time, you listen more, you hear more, you understand it more.
Yeah, definitely. And I constantly revisit albums. I constantly go back years later.
Yeah, you constantly reinvent music.
Not reinvent, but I just want to hear it, in a different stage, setting, different ears, different everything in my life. You know what I mean?
Right. You're in a whole new
perspective. Whole new perspective, exactly.
And you're listening to it again,
and then
you're going to think of it in a different way.
In a different way, and it might grow on you,
awesome.
And it might affect you in a different way. And that's the goal of what music is. So, who knows, maybe I'll come back to this and I'll...
Shout out Dan Saladay.
Shouts Dan Saladay.
Music is change. Music is life.
For sure.
So music is human.
Who knows? Maybe I'll come back to this and it'll be even better, but we'll see. As of right now, I wasn't super impressed. Wanted something a little more out of it, but I did really like his collab with J. Cole. Drake and J. Cole are, in the song
all-time
they talk
duo.
about. Yeah, they talk about the best, the big three, and that's Kendrick, Cole, and Drake. They're like always the ones that people like kind of look to in rap and kind of compare and contrast and who's better, who's
you think they're on those three on Mount Rushmore of rap right now. Who would be the fourth in your opinion?
It's It's a good one. I mean, me personally, I'm a huge JID fan.
Throw him up there.
So I throw him up there. You know, the ones that are active.
Shout out Jitty.
Because there are some that, like, are personal, like, favorites of mine, like Schoolboy Q, ASAP Rocky, that both haven't dropped albums in, like, over 5 years.
Yeah.
Rocky was supposed to drop an album this year. I don't think he will. I think he'll probably push it till next year since we're already, you know, kind of
it's almost
this year. So I feel like he'll save it, but he did drop a song called Riot that was really good that got me fucking hyped for the new album because I'm a huge Rocky fan.
Hell yeah.
And then we just saw that podcast with Schoolboy Q talking about his album coming soon. So I would assume we see both of those next year. But as of right now, since
looking forward to it.
The only active ones, because they're not active.
What do you think the mainstream would put up there for the 4th?
The mainstream probably puts up Ice Spice. I don't know.
Nah.
Maybe
Rod. Maybe.
I'm very shocked at how mainstream Rod is. Well, yeah, speaking of Rod.
He's blowing up now.
Let's get off the Drake top and go on to the Rod album, Nostalgia, which we both listened to.
Unbelievable.
I thought it was a good album, decent album. I'm going to say the same thing kind of with Drake. It didn't super impress me. I thought it was very good. Maybe I just expect more from Rod. But, like, you know, his album prior to it, Beautiful Mind, Soulfly, even Jupiter's Diary were like all hits. I guess since this one wasn't like all straight hit, because it was definitely, all his albums are sad, but this one felt way more deep, right? Would you say?
This one, it's kind of like you can tell he has more life experience. You know what I mean? Like,
even the first few
songs, talking about new things,
like talking about call me, call your friends, check up on everyone. Like, it's very deep meanings coming from.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
I personally, I'm a Rod stan
for sure.
So I'm gonna praise whatever he does, and
he's definitely in the mainstream now, which is crazy. It's crazy how he's blown up super mainstream. Because when we were listening to Rod, he wasn't main at all.
Not at all.
Not at all, and now he is like mainstream as
now he's arguably on the Mount Rushmore.
He could arguably put him on there. You could,
you know what I mean?
For sure.
Like, I remember he performed in Boston. He performed Greenlight the day it dropped, or he was in Boston the day Greenlight dropped.
Interesting.
Then the year later he was the Hard Rock. Year later after that he was at the DCU Center, and now this year he's gonna be at the TD Garden.
Yeah, I'm going.
Selling it out like it's a.
That is funny. You're right. The progression
game.
Because he was at Worcester. Now he's at TD. It's such a big jump.
Yeah, TD. Yeah. I mean, doesn't get much bigger. Maybe he does Gillette next year, but maybe Gillette or Fenway.
You're already there. You know what I mean?
TD is.
You're there.
If you're performing in Boston, and it's at TD. Then you made it.
You're there.
You know what I mean?
You're there for sure. Yeah, I mean, I liked it. I just wasn't super impressed, and maybe that's because we were so spoiled with Soulfly, where literally
Soulfly was ridiculous.
That's my favorite album by him. Every single song, there's like 30 songs in there. Every single one hits.
It's kind of like you know, it was so good that it's hard to recreate. Almost like Eminem.
How do you keep topping yourself, right?
Eminem in his prime, they said like he got too good, so like. It's like you can't recreate that, you know?
How do you keep topping yourself? It's impossible. It's impossible to. But yeah, again, really good.
Definitely a great album.
Listen to it. 100% huge fan. Excited to see him.
Yeah.
Lil Wayne dropped his EP because he's about to drop the Carter 6.
Oh,
have you listened to the Carters 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
Yeah. The Carters.
1 and 2 are but 3, 4, and 5 are like amazing.
He is probably on the Mount Rushmore.
I guess we can put. I would put him
of rappers of our lifetime.
The thing is, I would put him up there, like in a different category. So, like,
a lot of people have him as the best rapper of all time.
Yeah,
like,
I mean
that's not uncommon to hear.
Right, that's like that generation of Jay-Z, Eminem, Lil Wayne, like those guys, and then you got Cole, Kendrick, Drake in a different generation. You know what I mean? It's like just different generational things. You know what I mean? But to get back, so Lil Wayne dropped an EP for his upcoming The Carter 6 called The Fix Before the 6. I'm not going to lie.
Great play on words.
I did not like this album. I'm just going to be straight up. I'm a huge Lil Wayne fan.
1 to 10, what do you give it?
Like a 4 at most, if I'm being generous. It wasn't that great.
If you're not being generous.
The problem is it wasn't classic Lil Wayne. Not that it has to be classic Lil Wayne, but it wasn't like when you think of Lil Wayne songs, like
It was a different vibe.
it was a very different vibe. It wasn't super like because I don't want to say he fits one genre, but like he'll have hardcore rap songs, he'll have fun party bangers. None of those on here.
Yeah,
Not any of that. It was a little more like he had songs very similar-esque to like Ice Spice, Cardi B type beats. You
okay.
know what I mean?
What do you mean by that? Like
kind of like drillish, kind of like, you know, a little more
drill rapping,
like feminine drill.
Feminine drill.
That makes sense.
He sounded feminine, you think?
Not that he sounded feminine, but the beats themselves sounded like they were kind of made a little more for like a Cardi B, like a Nicki Minaj, like a Ice Spice, you know.
All right. I mean,
that's just my opinion. Again.
I personally haven't listened, but
yeah, that's just like the best way I can explain it.
Go give it a listen.
Give it a listen. Let me know what you think.
Yeah, let us know.
I just wasn't a fan, and I love Lil Wayne. I'm just hoping Carter 6 really hits because Carter 5 only came out a couple years ago. I think like 2020 was fucking amazing. Uproar was on that. You know what I mean? Like absolute amazing shit, man.
He's still on top of his game. I think this was.
I hope so. Yeah.
This was a little fix before the 6. Like
just a little fix before the 6.
That's all. That's
all. Tyga and YG dropped an album. Didn't listen to it, but just wanted to throw it in there.
Check him out.
Sleepy Hollow dropped his album Boy Meets World. Very good album in my opinion. If you guys know me, like,
Sleepy Hollow, that he's on the come up too. I mean, he's been up, but like
they're hitting more mainstream. Him and Chef G. So if you guys don't know, I'm big into the New York drill rap scene. Big fans of Chef G, Sleepy Hollow, R.I.P. Pop Smoke. All those guys, big fans of them. But Sleepy and Chef, they're just like a different breed musically. Like, yes, they're in the drill scene, but they can literally do anything musically.
Yeah, no, I agree completely. They have plenty of songs where it's kind of like almost
it's not
like
even drill.
It's not drill. It's not like
it's not rap. It's hard to explain. It's just a different type of
It's
music.
almost like, I mean, this is going to be way out of the park, but it's almost like Zach Bryan.
I guess I guess you can compare it. I don't know, but I just think like they're able to be like a Rod Wave, where they're able to kind of like step outside, you know, the classic rap beat, and instead jump on a guitar instrumental or
guitar
or a piano instrumental or any type of
cello.
Yeah, literally violin, whatever it is. Then they just make it work. You know what I mean? So that's what I really enjoy about them. So yeah, definitely give Sleepy Hollow a listen.
Check
really
them
big
out,
fan.
please.
Like he really, both of them for me, they haven't missed. So I'm really big fans of them. Olivia Rodrigo dropped her second album, Guts. I don't know if you listened to it.
I have not listened, but I am a big fan of Olivia Rodrigo.
Yeah, her first album, she came on the scene swinging.
Yes.
Very hard.
Sour.
And sour with a very teenage punk rock sound, and she fit in it perfectly. That still reigns true here. However, I feel like she lacked a little nuance with it. You know, the first album had its own taste and flavor and really hit hard with some big songs. This one didn't really have anything that really stood out to me too much.
Not as many, not like big radio hits.
Radio hits, exactly. Yeah, not that you need to have radio hits, but like that's just what she got big for.
That's what she was.
It's kind of what you expect out of it. So that's the only thing. But that's besides the point. I think it's decent enough. I bet if you're an Olivia Rodrigo fan, you'll love her music no matter what. So give her a listen, 100%.
Check her out.
Let us know what you guys think. JID dropped 2 songs. I wouldn't really call it an EP or anything crazy, but he dropped 2 songs with Lil Yachty. They were pretty good. I love JID. Big
JID
fan.
can't miss.
So can't
we
miss.
know that. Check out our reaction on his Tiny Desk concert.
Yes, please do that. Please do that. Trippie Redd dropped 2 albums this year. We already talked about the Mansion music way back then. Wasn't really a big fan of it, but it's okay because he dropped his second album called A Love Letter to You 5, where it's more trippy, you know, in his love sound, more soft, not as hard. Like
it's the trippy that we first were exposed to.
Yeah, like I think Trippie was always able to do both. I feel like in every single one of his albums, he was able to have that kind of like rage rap as well as that soft love rap where
the two polar opposites.
Where he was always good at doing both. And I feel like what he did with this is he did a Love Letter to You 5 where it was just all that soft love rock. Rap. And then he had the hard rage rock rap with Mansion Music that he dropped earlier in the year. And it kind of separated the two. But I feel like if you just took out all the bad songs from the last album, all the bad ones from this one, and then put all the good ones together, then he would have had just a fantastic overall album.
A normal Trippie Redd album.
A normal Trippie Redd album that was also very good because this one's very good. And I think the highs on the last album, there's only a few songs, but I think the highs were really high enough that if you were to throw it in this album, it would fit a lot better. But I did like this album. Very, very good in my opinion, especially for Trippie. I'm also just a big Trippie fan. I like, say what you want about his skill or his abilities, but
he's hard not to like.
He's shown that he can rap.
He's a likable guy.
He's shown that he has skill. He's shown that he can dip into different genres. Obviously he's a little out there, but
But who isn't? He's an artist.
Who isn't?
You know what I mean?
So yeah, I give it a listen. I'm a big fan. Give it a listen. I liked it. All right. So next up, let's see what we got next. Post Malone. Did we talk about Post Malone's Austin album? So Post Malone dropped his album called Austin. Here's the thing about Post Malone. A lot of people want Post to go back to Stoney and Beer Bogs and Bentley and Hollywood's Bleeding. And I get it. That was the Posty where you could still get your frat party bangers as well as have some deep, musically beautiful sounding, vocals of Post Malone.
Yeah.
Mainly more frat. Obviously, Stoney and Beer Bongs Bentleys were more frat-based than Hollywood's Bleeding kind of then introduced the more softer area. I mean, he always had, songs on Stoney, and, Stoney had I Fall Apart, that deep song, you know what I mean? So he's always been able to.
Oh, I fall
Exactly.
apart.
He's always able to.
We don't need the dongle. We can just sing.
I guess. But he's always done that. But here's the thing. Lately with Post, with 12 Karat Toothache and Austin, he's matured. He's changed his style.
Yeah.
He's more into the pop, scene more than he is into the rap, frat rap scene. So
yeah, totally, bro. It's kind of like the growth of that we saw with Mac Miller.
100%. Very similar. And I believe that we're not going to get frat Post back. We're just not.
I mean, I'll never say never on that because he can always do anything.
He could always do anything. I just don't see it.
He's 28 years old right now.
He's got a kid.
He's got a kid.
Got a wife.
Got a wife. His perspective's changing.
For sure.
You seen that video online where he's like, oh man, that's really awesome. That's great.
Yeah. He's like, oh, thanks, man. That's really cool.
Yeah.
He's kind of zooted out.
He's just chill. You can tell, like you said, he's matured. 28 years old. He's nearing his prime. I mean, he's been in his prime.
Which is also crazy to think about.
He's still so young in the music world that his growth is only going to keep going, and we're only going to get more great work from him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think here's the thing. People didn't really like his last album, 12 Karat Toothache. I thought it was fine. I enjoyed this one a lot, to be honest with you. I think he's figuring out his maturity level, his sound in that area. And I just think Post Malone for me will always hit because I'm a huge Post fan. Again, do I like the frat stuff a little more? Yeah, maybe. It depends on, where I'm at, but
depends what you're looking for. That's the thing about music. It's going to set the tone for
whatever vibe, whatever energy is going on.
If you're at a party, you might listen to some frat party Post stuff.
Yeah.
But if you're chilling with yourself in your feels, you might listen to Fall Apart. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. So, Austin may not be for
he's got something for everyone.
Exactly. It may not be for you if you're looking for the frat rap, but I think it's a very good album overall. So now, going into one that everyone's listened to, is Travis Scott's Utopia. Probably the most awaited, anticipated album of the year was Travis Scott's Utopia after a 4 or 5 year wait from Astroworld, which came out I think in 2018. We're now in 2023, so yeah, about 5 years.
And this is also his first album since the Astroworld scandals.
Yeah,
you could
since
call it.
his big, not conspiracy. What's the term? Controversial situation.
Controversial.
Where he was found not at fault. By the way, legally, was found not at fault for anything. So
I don't think he should be.
Speak that for what you will. I don't want to talk too much controversy. However, I just want to say, like, do I think he may have felt a responsibility or could have done something to help it? Yes, he probably could have, but to think about it
we
from
also
his
don't
point
know.
of view, right? We also don't know the extent, because to think about it from his point of view, he didn't know that people were storming the fences outside.
Right.
How is he supposed to know that? How is he supposed to know that his security isn't handling that? That's not on him.
Right, he's performing. All he hears is screaming
His
fans.
job was to perform, and the lights are flashing in his face. He's doing his thing. Like, how is he going to see in the crowd someone dying? It's going to probably be really hard to focus on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Again, could he maybe have, like, stopped and slowed down the performance and, I don't know, done something a little more? Yeah, he probably could have. Do I think he's at fault for it? No. So,
Which
right.
he was found
not at
guilty,
fault
so.
for. Again, people will still have their views on it, that he's a bad person, all this shit. But again, I think he was just doing his job. His goal was to perform.
Yeah,
and
the
show must go on.
The show must go on. He's moved on from that.
He's moved on from that.
He's now dropped this new album, Utopia, which I think it might be a little symbolism in that name there. Utopia,
maybe
opposite of Astroworld, I guess. Astroworld led to not great things.
Dystopia. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe you're onto something like that. But I do think when this album first came out, everyone was like, "Oh my god, it's the best thing ever." It was fucking amazing. And now that some time has gone by and the dust settled, the recency bias has settled, I will say that is a great album. It's a very good album.
Hell yeah.
It's very good. Like Travis Scott has always been that unique artist where he was kind of molding the genre, changing rap into something completely different.
No, I would agree. I would agree.
You can see that because he had such big inspiration and influence from guys like Kid Cudi and Kanye West. And I'm a huge Cudi guy. I'm a huge Kanye guy. But Cudi is one of my favorite guys.
He also had some great features on this album, including Kid Cudi.
Talk about him.
Kid Cudi, Young Thug, The Weeknd, Sway Lee, Bad Bunny, Playboi Carti, West Side Gun, Dave Chappelle and Young Lean, Tizo Touchdown, shout out,
Bon Iver,
SZA, Future,
Drake,
Playboi Beyonce,
Carti.
Knowles Carter,
Beyonce,
21 Savage, Rob 49,
Young Lean,
wow.
Bad Bunny,
SZA,
Future. Yeah, everyone's on this album.
He got people from a wide variety of genres.
For sure.
He got people who aren't even musicians by trade.
Yep.
He did it all. It's
a great album. It's a great album. Do I think it's the best album ever? I can't say that. It would take a lot more time. Obviously the recency bias hit them and they were saying all this stuff, and
it's hard to ever say that about anything.
Yeah, it's to jump into anything so quickly. Like, people the next day were like, "Oh my god." And like, whether like you have the best music taste or not, it's just hard to say that right away. I'd like to give it a little time. And now that, some time's gone by, I can say this is very good. And, to compare it to his other albums is going to be really hard. And because Astroworld is great, Birds in the Trap is great, Rodeo is great. He's always been great. He's always been great. So I'm just glad that he's keeping the run going because he's clearly very talented. Great guy. So give him a listen, man.
Yeah, give him a listen.
Zach Bia dropped an album. He's a new guy on the scene. He's more of like a producer, EDM guy. It's called Learn to Fly. I gave it a listen. I thought it was pretty decent enough.
I'm here for the EDM.
Yeah, he had some rappers on there. He had Don Toliver, Lil Yachty, JID. Of course, you've got JID. I'm a fan. So yeah, I would just give him a listen at the least. I like him.
Yeah, give him a listen now.
Lil TJ dropped his album 222.
Shout out Lil TJ. I'm a huge TJ fan myself.
Yeah, he's great.
I love that album.
I think it's pretty good.
It was something new from him too.
You're right. I think
this is coming off, his shooting, his tragic.
Right, he didn't make music for a while because wasn't he in a car accident too or something?
I don't know the exact details of what happened, but
definitely.
he was down bad for a minute. Album cover got him shirtless. You see the bullet holes.
Yeah, that's so true.
222, angel numbers.
Yep.
There's definitely some symbolism behind that.
Yeah.
And the music, I was a big fan of the music. Definitely a little different, a little softer, maybe a little bit new perspective out of him. You could tell.
Definitely.
Like we've been talking, that's been the theme with, artists and their growth.
Definitely.
New perspective, and yeah, I enjoyed it. What did you think?
I'm a big Lil TJ fan. You put me on to Lil TJ. And so yeah,
shout out TJ. Come on the pod.
Come on the pod. But yeah, just to keep seeing him do his thing and still produce good music is really fun. I don't want to see anyone fall or waver, so I think he's been keeping a good streak going. So
yeah, no,
I would give it a listen.
Powering through adversity.
I always encourage people to listen to music or watch or. I always just encourage someone to consume things themselves so they can form their own opinions on it.
Absolutely.
However, when I tell you to listen, when I tell you to listen to something, it's because I think you should genuinely listen to it yourself. But when I really say all right, you need to listen to this, that means it's really good. That means you have to listen to it.
You have to. It's mandatory.
Always listen to it for yourself. But at the same time, when I'm saying you gotta listen to this, it's because it's good. So any of these albums I'm telling you to listen to, you should listen to. You should listen to them.
You heard the man. Go listen.
Go listen.
Go subscribe. Go show love to all these artists.
Yes, sir. Next album I haven't listened to, but it's a female artist, Coi Leray. She's the daughter of Benzino. If you guys don't know who that is, Benzino is a famous rapper that was very famously known for beefing with Eminem and
Benzino.
That crew, 50 Cent, all them. Yeah. I haven't listened to her album, but I heard it was good. So I'll have to listen to that soon. But I can't really speak on it too much.
What's her big hit? I know she's got one.
I literally couldn't tell you, but I do want to get into her music. I think she is a good artist.
Yes.
But moving on, you know who Coda the Friend is?
Coda the Friend, shout out.
Coda the Friend dropped his album Protea. Protea is it's not what you would expect out of a Coda the Friend album, but I still think it's very good. I'm a big fan of Coda the Friend. He is definitely one of those guys that isn't too super mainstream, doesn't get as much love as you may think he should. However,
which he should get more love.
Absolutely. He's a great rapper, great singer. Just got a lot of good things going for him. And yeah, I would listen to this album. I think it's very deep. And very fun, some fun banger songs that Coda can do, so give that a listen. All right, next we got Dominic Fike's Sunburn album.
Dom Fike, your boy.
And I've been talking about
shout out the Sunburn album.
Yep. I've been talking about his progression for a while now. I think Dominic Fike is a great artist, and I will stand by that. I think I'm just excited to see where he keeps going with this because he's only had 2 albums. 2 full actual albums. He has 1 EP. But those 2 full albums, including Sunburn, just hit different. It's he just has a different vibe to him. And to me, this is Sunburn is a album of the year contender for me because of just how different he is and how talented he is. There's not a lot of people out there like Dominic Fike these days.
Yeah, here's another guy, young guy, only 27. He's only dropped 2 albums, but as we've been saying, super young. He's got plenty of room for growth, even though he's already showing his talent, showing his abilities.
Definitely.
But yeah, I've said it before, you put me on to Dom Fike, and I'm forever grateful because he is...
Well, I'm glad I can do that.
He is one of a kind.
One of a kind. So listen to Sunburn. Let me know if you guys think it's album of the year contender. I think it is.
Dom Fike,
if I can vote for it, I'm voting for him.
Dom Fike, we know you're watching. Come on the pod. Thank you.
Oh, man, that'd be so great. All right. Next, we're moving on to Lil Uzi Vert's Pink Tape.
Shout out Uzi. He did it again.
He did it again. When this album first came out, I feel like there was some controversy with it. Some people didn't know how to feel about it. And that's fine. I get it. It's Lil Uzi. You never really know how to feel about Lil Uzi.
I would say it's something different out of him, but it's not. It's
It's something.
It's the same thing, but to more of an extreme with the rock.
Because he's always been something
Screamo.
different. But yeah, you're right. It is more extreme.
Yeah. Which, no, I mean, I thought it was a great album. Most songs I enjoyed very much. He did the rock, did the screamo. He had a little bit of his own flair in there, obviously. But, yeah. Pink Tape. He did it again.
I thought it was very good.
He's
I'm a
had
big fan of the Pink Tape.
Well, how many albums did he drop? Like 7?
I think he has like 10 albums. I'm pretty sure.
I saw some meme online. It was like every single album has been a bop, and they're not wrong.
For sure. Uzi has really never missed. Let's look. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 albums. I mean, if you want to say Eternal Take is a double album, I'd agree. It's 2 albums in one. It's Eternal Take and Lil Uzi Vert versus the World too.
Yep.
So technically 8, and the collab album with Future is a collab album. So I don't know. So technically 8, but again, he really has never missed. He's really always been solid. So I'm a big fan of Pink Tape. It's just classic Uzi, just with more nuance. And I think he does it well. So give Lil Uzi Vert's Pink Tape a listen. It's very good. I'm a big fan. I think I can't really say much more. I just think it's great, and I want to see people dogging on it. Like, I've seen some people dog on that shit, and I don't know why. I thought it was very good.
Yes.
Right.
We won't talk about how every single album is always a hit, but they are. That's bottom line.
They are, though.
They're all hits.
They're very good. All right, we got Gunna's A Gift and a Curse. So this was a very long-awaited and anticipated album because of the racketeering situation going on with YSL and Young Thug and Gunna and all this beef stuff. But I think I can say that A Gift and a Curse is a good album, surprisingly, and with no features on it.
It's all him, just putting it all out there,
Yeah, and
he's had the scrutiny on him, but now, I feel like a lot of people are putting that to the side and just saying appreciating him as an artist because he's really good.
Definitely,
bottom line.
Definitely. And I think, like, the way I see it, he got a lot of hits on here that went to radio hits that made it big, like Fuck You Mean.
Yeah.
Is huge.
Yep.
And it was good. It was just good to see, I've been a fan of Gunna. I think he's kind of more served better in, like, feature songs. But that's why it was cool to see him not have any features on this and still perform. Yeah. So that was really cool.
He's strutting his stuff.
So speaking of Gunna, we got to talk about Young Thug's album called Business is Business that I wasn't really a fan of. I thought it was I'm a big Young Thug fan. And we've seen Young Thug make great albums and make great music. So I don't know why it was different here where
we will put a little
lot of it was just
kind
of like it's just average music. It's just like, I know you can do better, Young Thug. And again, yeah, we'll put an asterisk on it because of all the stuff that's going on.
It's hard to record through a payphone.
If that's what's going on. If that's what's going on, right? But we
don't know.
I just expected more out of Young Thug, I guess. Maybe I just had too high expectations, so I wasn't a big fan. Again, I'd recommend you listen to make your own opinion, but I just wasn't a big fan of it. All right, we got Key Glock's Glaucoma 2.
Key Glock.
Say whatever you want about Key Glock. I know that area, again, he's kind of like drill rap, I'd say.
Yeah. But more I think he's underrated, personally.
It depends. I'm not going to lie. So, Young Dolph, R.I.P., and Key Glock, I would say Young Dolph's the better artist, but obviously he's passed away now. But they both they're like Sleepy and Chef, except I feel like they're not as artistic as Sleepy and Chef. And I think, like, not even to, like, show any disrespect or anything like that. It's just like they kind of stick to one formula and don't really switch it up too much. And that's fine. You don't have to.
Haven't switched yet.
However, Key Glock is he's hit or miss. He's super 50-50. Like, some songs I'll listen to and I'll be hyped up. It's amazing. And then other songs where it's just like, you're like offbeat this entire song. Who is mixing this and being like, yeah, this is good. This is fine. You know what I mean? Let's be honest. Like, there are a lot of songs. I mean, this goes for any artist, not just them. And plenty of artists, make mistakes on their their work. It happens. However, I just feel like in their scene that they're very 50-50 with their music. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So this album is 50-50. I liked a lot of it, and I didn't like a lot of it. So it's 50-50. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
But hey, another young guy in the game, only 26.
But I do like Key Glock. I do like him.
Only getting better.
Only getting better. Excited to see what else he's got. And
I do
think Glaucoma 2,
see
though,
the potential. You see the talent.
I was just about to say, I do think Glaucoma 2, gets me excited for what the future can be, for what his best can be. It gets me excited.
Hell yeah. Because think about it. If you make one song that's a hit, how impressive is that?
That's
crazy.
I wouldn't be able to.
Not with that attitude.
But I'm just saying, it's hard. It's very hard. It's very hard.
Exactly. So, with that being said, he's got room for growth. He has the potential.
Yes.
We're looking out for what he shows next. Go give him a listen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, moving on to Wiz Khalifa's C album. Well, actually, Wiz Khalifa's dropped multiple albums this year. I'm a huge Wiz fan. I love Wiz Khalifa. But for some reason, I haven't listened to these albums this year. So he dropped, most recently, Cali Sober, which came out in October 6, 2023, so like a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then he has Sia, which came out June 14th. And then he has Star Power, which came out February 2023. So he's been grinding.
He has been grinding.
And
I love Wiz, though. He's an all-time great, just personality, performer, vibe, whatever.
Music, artist. Like, yeah, he's created countless classics. So I'm a big fan.
He even has his own weed strand named after him.
Khalifa Kush, baby. Get your own. But yeah, I'm a big Wiz fan, so listen to his music, man. He's good. I bet these albums are great. I just haven't got the chance to listen to them. All right, so we got Killer Mike's Michael album. You know what Killer Mike is?
Killer Mike, I'm not familiar.
Killer Mike is a Georgia rapper. I'm pretty sure he's from Atlanta. He was mainly a producer.
Oh, I recognize him. Is he an actor too?
He has been in some roles for sure.
Yeah.
He's mainly a producer. He raps, but this album is like the first time we've really get to see him shine with the mic.
Hell yeah.
And this album is great. Killer Mike's Michael is fantastic. A lot of great collabs on here. He's got guys like CeeLo Green, Young Thug, Ty Dolla $ign, Andre 3000.
Wow.
A lot of great guys on here. JID, Ty Dolla $ign, great Young Nudie. Some great collabs here. I'd give him a listen. It's very deep and introspective about his life, his struggle with religion, what it was like growing up for him. So it's a very good album. I would 100% give it a listen. It's very.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to tune in.
All right, we got Kenny Mason's 6th album, EP, I should say, 9 tracks.
Kenny,
where he dropped.
Oh boy.
Yes, sir. He dropped 3. He dropped his 3 EP, which was 3 songs. Then he dropped his 6 EP, which had 6 songs. Then he put them together, and each called it 6. But it's really just 9 songs, and 10 out of 10. Fantastic.
Wait. Say that again. 3.
He dropped 1 EP earlier called 3.
Yeah.
Then he dropped 1 called 6 most recently, and he just put them together to make 9. So there's 6 and 3, but he just calls the EP 6.
So
combine them together.
But the EP is called 6 and it has 9 songs?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. He combined them together.
Wow.
Fantastic. Give it a listen. 10 out of 10.
That's awesome.
He doesn't miss. He's fantastic. I can't say much more about Kenny Mason. He's literally a god.
369.
Basically.
Shout out.
Yep, exactly. All right. Metro Boomin did the soundtrack for the Spider-Verse movie. I feel like we've talked about it.
Metro Boomin.
On a run.
He, the Spider-Man soundtrack was second to none, especially in recent movies and their soundtracks.
Absolutely.
So is that a whole album from that movie?
Whole album for that. This album was created for that movie, and it's a great standalone album as well as a soundtrack. I probably won't get much love or awards in the ceremonies they do or the contests they have, but I think it's very good. Give it a listen. You've definitely probably listened to it. It was a huge mainstream thing going on.
Give it a listen. Give it a watch.
Give it a listen. Give it a watch. I'm a big
Hell
fan. Yeah. Next, we got Lil Durk's Almost Healed album. That's a song with J. Cole, All My Life.
Yeah, that was a great song. And, well, there's a theme that J. Cole's features have been the biggest hits. I mean, is it a coincidence? Probably not.
J. Cole, fantastic
like
artist, as we know, and he is like that. He makes great music. But to talk about Lil Durk, though, this album was surprising to me. I didn't expect too much from Lil Durk. He's a great artist, I think, but again, one of those guys that can be hit or miss. And a lot of his sound isn't always perfect. Like, no one is always perfect, but like, I just mean that his art isn't always the best. There's some times
in
where
your
I listen
opinion,
to it, in my opinion, and like, there's some times I listen to it where, again, it's offbeat. It's just bad. It just sounds bad. And then there are times where he makes fantastic music, like this album, where I was very shocked at certain songs. I was like, damn, I didn't really recognize that he had this ability and this skill. And he's actually really good. So I really enjoyed it. I think it was pretty good, and I would give it a listen. Almost Healed, Lil Durk, give it a listen. It was decent. Taylor Swift dropped an album. Hold on.
Swifties everywhere. Shout out
Swifties
Travis
everywhere
Kelce.
now. Life is crazy.
She did. Taylor Swift did in fact make the NFL popular. People forget because before her dating Travis Kelce, no one watched.
Yep. She put him on for sure. All right, she actually didn't drop an album. One is coming. She keeps doing her Taylor versions, so that's a little different. All right. I think we're all caught up. We can talk about ones that maybe we might have talked about. Amine, you know who Amine is. Caroline, everyone knows Caroline.
Shout out Amine.
Amine dropped his collab album with Kate Trinata. It was decent. It wasn't anything special. I expected more, but it wasn't really that great, which kind of let me down because I'm a big Amine fan.
I'm a fan of Amine's music, of course, but
yeah,
also I've listened to some interviews with him, and he's
dude.
Funny dude. He's woke. He's intelligent.
Yeah,
he's got a lot of good things to say. So tune into his music, tune into his interviews, podcasts, whatever.
For sure. If you're a fan of artists and you don't listen to like their podcasts or their interviews,
consume their content.
I think they stand out for sure, and they're just interesting people. Like, I love listening to their podcasts or interviews and just kind of like seeing them in a different light. That's what I really like to see about artists. Also,
Amine, come on the pod.
Please, I'd love it.
Please and thank you.
Love all that. Jack Harlow's Jackman. Did you listen to that?
Jack Harlow. I definitely heard some.
So Jack Harlow's Jackman. Jack Harlow was kind of on a weird run where a lot of people weren't really messing with his music. And then this album came out and everyone was like, "Oh, this is old Harlow. We love it." And I'm not gonna lie, I'm a huge Harlow fan. I've been on the wave.
Shout out Harlow.
However, I didn't see the hype that everyone saw with this Jackman album. I thought, there were some decent songs, but I felt like I don't think it was anything revolutionary. Or
he didn't have any like bangers where everyone's gonna hear it and start like singing
which
to
is
it.
like typical Harlow. But it's not even like that. He needs that. I just felt like this was one of those things where it was overhyped, recency bias, all that stuff, and I'm a big Harlow fan. I want to see him kind of come back. I want to see him make
But I will say, give him credit because no features.
Yeah, for sure. I always give any artist their credit. It's not easy to put your art out there and have people critique it. So obviously you always got to give people that respect just for stepping in the ring, right?
Exactly.
However, when you step in the ring and you don't give your best performance, I'm able to critique that. I'm able to say like, what is going on here? This isn't Harlow. So, what I wanted to say is that I think it's fine. It passes. I expect a little more from Harlow. He's talented. He's a great artist. Like, I just expect a little more, and I'm excited to see what more he can bring.
I did see him. He posted. I don't know where it was. I think Instagram story. Him in the studio. He said he's working. So more to come from Jack. Stay tuned.
Definitely. All right, so we got Ian Dior's "Leave Me Where You Found Me." I'm a big Ian Dior fan. Say what you will about him, whether you like his music or not, if he's an industry plant, all this stuff. I think it's a great album. I think he still rocks the pop rap scene very well, blends the two very well. I would recommend a listen. I think Ian Dior is great. I think that
Ian Dior. The only one I've ever hear say that he's industry plant is you, but that's probably because you.
I've only just seen other things on social media saying that he's an industry plant, and his first ever album is called Industry Plant, kind of like poking fun at the fact of it. But here's the thing: he's artistic, he's talented. I think he doesn't lack talent. Like I think he has good talent.
Exactly. He's not like someone who gets famous just off one song or just off like a meme type vibe. Like he's talented. He's got more in the tank. He's a young guy still.
Yes, sir.
And like we said, that creativity never has a cap to it.
Yes, sir.
So, industry plan or not, do you think this album? What do you give the album 1 to 10?
Ooh, let me see. I'm gonna go with an 8.
Ooh.
7 to an 8.
Okay.
Very good in my opinion. If you're a fan of Ian Dior, let me see. Yeah, 7 or an 8 out of 10. I think it's very good. For what it is within his genre,
All right.
I think he does very well. So give him a listen. I think he's great. All right, next, I didn't get a chance to listen to this album, but do you know who NF is?
NF.
Rapper, white boy.
No.
You definitely have heard of NF before. You've had to. I'm trying to think of what NF song.
Let's see. I'm gonna pop a song on now.
He's got one of those really.
I'm sure I've heard his songs. I'll be honest, don't know the name.
I'm trying to find. I forget the name of the song.
Let's go. We're gonna listen to the search. NF. Let's hear it.
Where is the most popular song?
Oh, yo. I've definitely heard him before.
You've heard him before.
Yeah.
There's one song you definitely know, but I just can't think of the name. Hold on.
I recognize his flow for sure.
Definitely.
No, I think I like his stuff. I like his stuff. For some reason, I didn't know his name, but good.
Let You Down, maybe.
Good music.
I don't know. I can't remember. All right. Well, he dropped an album. I didn't get a chance to listen to it. I'm gonna
go check him out. I'm gonna have to do my homework on him as well. But
next
he's got the flow.
Next we got They Period, R&B rap duo dropped their album New Moon. Very good album. They're unique. They're very different. Very unique group. They're just changing the scene up, which I love to see. So give them a listen. They're great. Next we got Daniel Caesar, another R&B guy. Daniel Caesar dropped his
amazing voice.
Never Enough album. Amazing artist.
I'm gonna have to listen to that one for sure.
Definitely. I've definitely shown you a couple songs. Probably his most popular right now is Do You Like Me? And that's really, I'd just give him, R&B isn't my favorite lane, but he just attracts you. He just has something about him that really makes you want to listen. You know what I mean?
No, I agree. I think he's got amazing voice.
Definitely. He's on the song Peaches with Justin Bieber.
Yes.
Yeah, you know Daniel. Everyone knows Daniel Caesar. He's huge. He's coming to Boston, I think. Soon, I'm pretty sure.
Well, while he's here, he should come on the pod.
If only. If only.
I mean, no, we'll never get anyone with that attitude.
I'm just saying, if only. If only he came on the pod, that'd be the best thing in the world.
When he comes on the pod.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I love Daniel Caesar. Give him a listen.
Shout out.
What more can I say? Next, we got Ray Shremmerd's Shrem Life 4.
And they're back, and they're back.
And they're back. However, Ray Shremmerd is another one of those guys that would say they're also hit or miss with their music. Not perfect. Again, who is, but...
Uzi.
Yeah, maybe.
Uzi hasn't missed.
However, this one didn't really do it for me. And especially when we've known Ray Shremmerd to make fantastic bangers. They just didn't really get to do it this time. I don't know. I think they just struggled a little bit, but it's fine. You know, give it a listen. Let us know what you guys think. I just wish they
let us know. They
could have done more. They could have focused a little bit more, and I felt like this one was a more quantity over quality type album. And I didn't, I didn't like that. I'm big into quality. I like when artists take their time. I don't care if it takes 5 years like Travis Scott or Schoolboy or Rocky, as long as what you put out there is your best work. That's all I really care about, you know?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
We're kind of nearing the end here. I'm glad we could finally talk about all this stuff because this is something I really want to talk about. All right, we got JPEG Mafia's Scaring the Hose, him and Danny Brown, two artists. Danny Brown, OG rapper, R&B guy. JPEG Mafia, new rap guy on the scene. They're just switching up the rap scene here, going complete like rage, weird EDM type style, and
scaring them hoes.
The music definitely does what it sets out to. So listen to Scaring the Hose. Shout out JPEG Mafia. Shout out Denny Brown. Fantastic stuff. All right, we got Since I Have a Lover by Six Lack, aka Black.
Shout out.
Black man.
What do you think of this one? 1 to 10.
I really like this one a lot. 1 to 10, let's see. Hold on, let me do the math real quick. The way I like to kind of calculate albums in my mind.
Oh, you have a equation?
A little scale.
A little algorithm?
It's just how many songs I liked divided by the total songs. And so this one I have a 78. So 7 or 8 sounds about right.
Okay.
This album, it's long. It's a long album. I'll be honest. It's a long album.
That's a great way of grading albums.
That's how I grade it. That's how I grade it. I think it's the best way to do it.
It makes a lot of sense.
Makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense.
The ones that I think are good versus the ones that I think are not good. You know, the ratio.
Yep.
And yeah, it's a long album. It's 20 songs. It's a little over an hour long. I think it came out hot because he dropped the song Since I Have a Lover, which is the title of the album, before this came out. And I really liked that vibe. It sounded peaceful, kind of like just him and a guitar beat. Kind of just, you know...
Zach Bryan-esque.
Seemed a little more like, that, and also a little more like emotional, kind of like, you know,
in his feels
a little bit, but also like accepting it, kind of. I don't know. I really like the album, and that's what it seems to be about. Which kind of reminds me of Don Toliver dropped his album called Love Sickness, so very similar concept. I'm a big Don Toliver fan. I don't think this was his best work. I'm not gonna lie. I enjoyed the album, but Don Toliver has done much better work, and I think it's different because this album was a little more softer vibe. Usually Don Toliver kind of brings the club banging music, and he didn't really do that too much on this one, so maybe that was why I felt a little different. But I think that
a little switch up, a little switch up,
but I still think that Love Sick is something that you guys need to listen to for sure. Don Toliver is fantastic. So yeah, I think we're nearing the end here. I think that's kind of all as we talked about Paramore's album. We talked about, So that looks like everything. I'm glad we could finally get that off my chest because I wanted to.
I can tell it's been itching at you, you know?
I've just been wanting to catch up because, we haven't been able to talk music in a minute. It's been a while. And yeah, I want to catch up so that now we can keep doing this segment going forward and keep just, if you're in the loop, if you like these kind of artists and like this kind of music, that I just want us to be that type of, got to bring them, these artists to you and see give another look into the mind and perspective of their music. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
that's kind of really what I wanted to do. Like I said, I'm excited we can do it because, damn, so much music. We've been going for a little over an hour now.
How much music do you think is dropped daily?
Too much. Too much is the answer.
A
lot is the answer. However, that was probably about like 30 albums this year. Nothing crazy. It's a lot, but I think if you're a fan of it, if you digest that type of stuff, if you're, into it, it's easy. It's just because I like to see people succeed. I like to cheerlead for people. Like, I don't like to give artists or albums bad, reviews or bad publicity at all.
But if you think it's bad, you're gonna say it.
I just gotta be honest. Like, when we were talking about Key Glock's album or Ray Shremmerd's album or just the ones that kind of stood out to me were like Young Thug's album, where it's just like, just wasn't what I expected it to be. You know what I mean? And I guess everyone's got their own expectations. So, and music is very subjective. Music can be whatever you want it to be. I try to look at it, when I give my reviews and give people my opinions on it, I try to look at it objectively. So that's why I encourage everyone to just listen. Make your own, form your own opinion.
Exactly.
If you see someone else say like, "Oh, this album's good," that means I'm going to listen to it. Or if you see someone else say, "Oh, this album's shit," I'm not going to listen to it. Why are you going to let other people kind of like form your opinions? You know what I mean? I don't. That's not the point of this. The point is for me to say like what I feel about it, but always encourage you to make up your own assumptions.
Give it a listen, and let us know what you think as well, because we want to hear what you guys have to say about this.
100%. So that's all the albums so far of 2023. I'll keep a lookout for any of the ones on their way. Like I said, Rocky, Schoolboy Q, Kid Cudi. Kid Cudi actually coming in January, so it'll be next year.
It's a lot to look forward to.
Hopefully we get that Mac Miller album soon. Metro Boomin's supposed to do some more albums with JID and Future, supposedly, the rumors. There's still plenty of stuff going on.
I mean, the music is not going to stop coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not going to stop coming. So we'll keep an eye out for you guys. We'll try to stay on top of it, so that way we don't have to dump all this stuff on you at once. But that's where we're at so far. It's been a good year so far. I mean,
a lot of great music.
Not as exciting as past years. Like, obviously, Kendrick had a huge album last year. So did JID. Years before, we got J. Cole dropping albums and his Dreamville albums, and Drake still dropping like once a year. He dropped Honestly Nevermind, Her Loss, Certified Lover Boy, all in like a 2-year span.
Which was what's it called?
Interesting trilogy.
Trilogy, yes.
Interesting trilogy.
Trilogy.
Could you say that For All the Dogs can fit that? So, Honestly, Certified Lover Boy. So, I was a Certified Lover Boy.
Certified Lover Boy.
Honestly, Nevermind. It's Her Loss. This one's For All the Dogs.
Yeah.
Does that fit?
That fits. Throw it in there. It's it's no longer a trilogy. It's now a quadrilogy.
Quadrilogy, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know what the word is for that, but yeah, it could fit the theme for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll see. We'll see what more he has coming. I heard that he was gonna give a little break from music for a while, because 4 albums in like a 3-year span is a decent amount. So probably less. So again, and since For All the Dogs, I wasn't super impressed by it. That was decent. I wasn't super impressed though. So I would like for him to take his time, come back when he's feeling ready, feeling right to put out something that.
Quality over quantity.
Quality over quantity. It's like Israel Adesanya lost the belt recently in his last fight, and he's a very active fighter, probably one of the most active fighters in the UFC. Fights like 5 times a year. You think about it, that's only like 2 months between each fight. Not a lot of time at all.
No, and that's a lot of wear and tear on the body.
Violence to the body, for sure.
All that.
So he just said that he's going to take some time off to really, like, get right, and he'll come back when he's feeling right. So
there's nothing wrong with that, especially if you're in a sport like UFC or if you're an artist. Like, give yourself time.
Quality.
Bring
your best A game to the show.
Exactly. It's not like like the major four sports where it's like a season every year. Like, you got to come back. Like, those guys, like, they can't like say, "Oh, I'm gonna take a year off and come back." Like, they could, but they probably wouldn't have a job.
Definitely.
Unless they're like Tom Brady or something, But
yes, sir. So yeah. I think that's what we'll call it. I'm glad we could do this, Ty.
Hell yeah.
I appreciate you. All right, guys.
Check out the music.
Yes, sir. If you guys made it this far, we appreciate you so much.
We really appreciate you. Always remember, every day, do good.
Do good.
Give $1 to a homeless person. Feed the hungry.
I love that.
Shelter those in need.
I just say pay it forward.
Pay it forward.
Whatever, karma comes your way, just always pay it forward. Always just keep spreading it, because the more you spread it, the more someone else will spread it. The more they spread it, the more it just spreads overall.
And the more it
spreads, the better it will be. The more it'll come back around. So do good, get good. So, yeah, pay it forward.
Hell yeah.
Yes,
Pay
sir.
it forward.
Let's dance this one out, T-Bag.
Dance it out.
I appreciate you now. Appreciate you guys watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and have a good night.
Good night.